All right, Gainers, get to the time machine quick. We gotta go back 1 year.
Rub-a-dub-a-dub-dub!
Stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is the Princess, the SpiderGwen Princess.
Oh.
Doing that princess wave, you do two bow and respect. Of course, there's the Coco dog.
And Coco made it. She came back in time with us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Today is Monday, and we have a super awesome drop list for you. This one's really exciting. Every book is huge on this list, and surprisingly enough, I don't own any of these books. I wish I did. They're all huge books, and I don't have any of them. Well, if you're asking yourself right now, what is the drop list, and why did I click on the Gaines Show? Well, the Gaines Crew does a special thing every week. We get together, we scour the internet for trending hot lists, any kind of speculatory list, but it has to be exactly 1 year ago. Now we take these books, we put them in a machine, we press it out, we figure out which one of these books has gone down in price from the highest to the lowest, and we present them in that order. Give you some fun facts, and if you stay to the very end, Zach, the slab master of the Gaines Crew, will give you his pick of the week, and it's not from his nose. All right, guys. Before we get into anything, what is it? Rick always drinks something, right?
Yeah, we gotta get fueled up with that intergalactic energy. And then we always pick G Fuel. This is the Tetris edition. So if you ever want to find out what Tetris tastes like, you gotta get this one. Performance, energy, and yeah, it doesn't really tell you what flavor it is.
Tetris flavor.
Yeah, Tetris.
I licked the TV one time when I was playing Tetris, and it tasted like dust.
Tasted like a father's disappointment.
Tasted like freedom and also copper.
Oh, Tetris tastes bad.
Is it good?
No.
Someone recently actually beat Tetris. So
Oh, extremely bad.
What flavor is it?
I don't know. It tastes bad.
It tastes like extreme focus.
It tastes like a rotten avocado. Had sex with another rotten avocado.
You know what doesn't taste like a rotten avocado? Hanging out with us on Whatnot every Saturday. Times have been changing a little bit, so make sure you bookmark our shows on Whatnot so you know exactly when we're starting. But Adam and Zach usually always start first. And the princess, if you're asking yourself, I know a lot of people lately have been like, why does that girl in the middle never talk? Well, she's thinking really hard and saving all her wise knowledge for her Whatnot show. So if you want to come see her, you have to go to Whatnot so she'll talk. Coco talks all the time, though. She's always talking.
Of her free and full ability. I don't know what I'm saying.
No one's holding her against her will.
No one's, yes, there you go.
This week. All right, guys, let's get to the comics. This is an awesome drop list. We got like a lot of these are first to the drop list, and we got some cool, brand new news for you. All right, guys, let's kick it off. Number 5 on the list, and this is a recent hot book, but not so hot this week. We got Iron Fist, number 14, 1977. Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont. Good combination there. First full appearance and cover of Sabretooth, everyone's favorite Victor Creed. And yeah, this book's been hot for a number of reasons. Obviously, with Deadpool 3 coming out, we got a lot of notifications last year. We knew Wolverine was going to be in it, so it kind of makes sense that we were going to see Sabretooth. So this book got hot last year with the anticipation of a Sabretooth. And we've had a lot of different iterations from Fox over the years, a couple of different actors, and I'll touch on some more news on that. But yeah, that's the reason why it got hot last year. And it's an interesting story. Sabretooth actually in the Iron Fist book is just a serial killer. He doesn't actually have like any power.
Just a serial killer.
Like it's retconned later on when he becomes like a major X-Men villain and even more a Wolverine villain. I think he's basically Wolverine's greatest adversary. But in his early days, he was just an average serial killer who was battling against Iron Fist. He didn't have the mutant powers or nothing. Technically, they didn't know about him, obviously.
Right.
But more recently, within just this last December, there was reports that Tyler Mane, who was the original Sabretooth from X1, which was a great movie, I love the original X-Men series, was spotted on the set. I think they were talking about him being like a severed head that Wolverine was actually like holding his like severed head, but it was that actor.
Mhm.
Really cool. It spiked this book up a lot. I don't know if it really matters to me. What like helps a book spike up is like if the character is really awesome or the actor does a really good job and lifts up the comic book character higher. That should make like the book more expensive, not like someone's severed head like in a movie.
Mhm.
But you never know. To me, my favorite Sabretooth is always Liev Schreiber from Wolverine Origins. The movie might not be so good, but the actor killed it. That's my Wolverine, and I hope that we get to see him again sometime soon. I do have a bolo on this one, guys. 35-cent price variant worth mucho dinero on this one. You got to keep your eye out for that. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
And if you find one, send it to me.
There you go. What's the numbers on this bad boy, though, Zach? I know you're a big fan of the Sabretooth.
Yeah, it hasn't dropped that much for 9.8. It was dropped a little bit, but then it popped up because of the recent news, obviously. For CGC 9.8, it was being fisted hard. I don't know. $5,040. Now, the palm has opened a little bit. At $4,950. Shut it! $4,950. So only $100. But the range is $3,650 to $5,520. Average sale is $4,519. So sometime in the year you could have had a nice little gain. But you didn't. No, I don't.
Or you did. Yeah.
So it's about a 2% drop. Not too bad. There's 7,196 total graded. A lot of graded. There is 225 9.8s. It's about 3% of print run. Not print run. 3% of total graded. That's really, really good. And, of course, I wanted to take a look at the 9.6 quickly, but I don't need to. It dropped a couple $100 also, so it's about comparable. 9.6 dropped a little bit more, but still pretty dang expensive in any grade. Yeah, be on the lookout. It's a fantastic book.
Yeah, definitely one
Great
to go after.
villain.
It's expensive even raw. Even raw and mid-grade for a Bronze Age book, it's still pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's a great villain that Marvel shouldn't kill or bring him back and keep him in the movie, recurring villain.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be killing
I don't think
all
they killed
the
him,
villains.
Did they kill him in any of the movies?
Well, I think it did, didn't he?
He like fell into the lake or something.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. He was okay.
I mean,
but that guy wasn't like, not like the strongest actor type. He just kind of grunted and like growled. So maybe they didn't need him for the next movie. X2 is the best X-Men movie by far. In my opinion, X-Men 2.
He can pull a Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Jason Voorhees fell in the lake. Oh, yeah.
Get his mom out here.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
No villain.
First to the show ever, we got number 4 on the list, Rick and Morty. Number 1, 2015 Oni Press.
Oh, yeah, you're
Oni Press.
Okay.
Ryan Hill, Zach Gorman. And this is a really interesting book for me. There's a lot to kind of absorb with this book, and it's basically the premiere issue of the comic book that has to do with the famous cartoon that came out. And you have obviously first appearances, Rick, Morty, Summer, Jerry, Beth, everyone's favorite characters from the show. And to me, it's as kind of as popular a comic as it is a TV show in comparison. There's so many runs of this book. It's very confusing to figure out which ones are like the good ones to go after. And I personally haven't read a lot of it. I'm a fan of the show. I don't overly like the show though. It's kind of like I watched it once, I enjoyed it. I don't really feel like I need to watch it again. But it's interesting, and this is I don't know what else to compare this to. Maybe Simpsons. Simpsons comics are a little bit spendy, but nothing near what this is. And I know a lot of the artists that have to do with the show are connected to comics, so maybe that's why. Like they're really into comics, and like a lot of them, I know some of the people that are in the show actually draw some of the covers for the comic books. It's interesting. I know as well. Also, Dan Harmon, who's the creator of Community, also created Rick and Morty. He's the one who's been in a lot of legal trouble lately for some things he probably should not have done. I don't want to accuse anybody or not know any of the facts, but apparently I don't think he's going to be on the 7th season or have anything to do with it, even though he's the original creator. You will still get to see like Justin Roiland, who is the voice of Rick and Morty. He'll still be doing the show, so you still get some of the creative team that goes along with it. But it's an exciting book. You have to decide whether you like it. I've never personally wanted to go after this book. It doesn't hold a lot of meaning to me. Like I said, I don't know, Zach, you're a big fan of the show. I don't know.
Fantastic.
I don't know. Princess kind of fan. She's seen some of them, some of the stuff. Like I said, I liked the first couple seasons, and then after that was okay. But Bolo report as well. There's a lot of Bolos on this one, guys. I'm keeping you guys up to date. There is a 1 in 30 Johnny Ryan cover, which is pretty expensive, more expensive than the regular one. There's a 1 in 50 Justin Roiland cover. Hopefully I said that right. That's the most expensive one out there. It's pretty, really, really expensive. And if you're the princess, you know all about the blank sketch cover, which she has an interesting story that goes along with this, where she picked this up in a collection and actually thought it was a damaged book because it's like crinkled up paper and there's coffee stains on it.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, this is the super, super rare first #1. It's worth way, way more than the real #1. So keep an eye out for that. It literally looks like a piece of junk and it's worth a lot of money. So
a lot.
Right? I don't know. Let's have the expert, the Rick and Morty expert, tell you more about it, though. Zach, take it away.
Oh, wait. It was intergalactic, planetary, old guy hanging out with a little boy to keep the intergalactic pirate, which is the police, no, I'm joking, off his back. For CGC 9.8, it was $855. Last sold was $850, but you can buy one right now for $800.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal. So I say it's about a 6% drop. The range is $855 to $1,200. Average sale is $977. I'm kind of interested to see if that $800 one will sell after the show comes out, because that's actually a really good deal.
We discussed that a little bit, because it's like if there's one for $800, it could even sell lower because no one's even buying that $800 one now. So like maybe someone talks them down to $750, or someone pops up for $7. It could be even like lower, just no one's buying it. So yeah.
There's 1,116 total graded. 223 of them are 9.8. That's 20%. That's a pretty good ratio right there for a brand new book.
Yeah.
Of total graded. First appearance of Rick and Morty. I think it'll be an iconic book for a long time. It probably might drop a little bit more, but it's probably going to be the equivalent of like a Walking Dead. It's going to go back up, lower, go back up. I think it will continuously go up in price. So it would not be a bad investment to get this book at this time. Probably hit $100 if you have some cash rolling around in your pocket. Or buy the sketch one from the Princess. Get your own nice little sketch.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting ones where it hits on like multiple fronts. You have the people who love comics could buy this. You also have the people who like Rick and Morty who could buy this. We have friends that don't even really like comics, but also read the Rick and Morty comics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't even. They just wanted to read more on Rick and Morty. So it's interesting. It's cool. It's a cool book. It's interesting. All right, guys. #3 on the list. And we should have the princess present this. Wait, she's going to anyway. Edge of Spiderverse. #2. You guys were wondering, why was she dressed up like that?
Mm-hmm.
This is why. 2014, Robbie Rodriguez, Jason Latour, and first appearance of SpiderGwen, Gwen Stacy from Earth 65. Not to be confused. It is not our good old gal that we remember from the 70s. Not our Gwen Stacy. A different, younger Gwen Stacy. It also is the first appearance of the band MJs and Mary Jane from that universe as well. They kind of play an important role in the series. We also got to see them in the last movie. Obviously, this book got hot again for the multiple umpteen time. We had Across the Spider-Verse came out last year. I really enjoyed that movie. It was really good. I will go out on a limb and say I still like the first one a little bit better. I may need to see the third one to get that final wrap up. Just the first movie felt very complete and satisfying as you watch it from beginning to end, where obviously the second one had that like mid, kind of like, there's going to be more to finish the story. So you didn't get like the final thing, but, yeah, we'll see. I think this book, a lot of people were saying was like a modern blue chip key for like a long time. They're like, hey, this may be like an investment book to step into. Within the past year, like we may have seen that might not be the case when it comes to like Ultimate Fallout 4 or Edge of Spider-Verse 2. My own personal opinion, I'm not a big fan of the character. What I've read, she's okay. Like, she's more interesting when she joins in other people's stories, but her own solo world, like Earth 65, is like kind of boring to me. I think when I've read it, it seems really boring. I may be in the minority on this. Maybe everybody really loves Spider-Gwen. I think I like her more because of the cartoon, and Haley Steinfeld's portrayal of Spider-Gwen makes her seem a lot cooler than she is. I mean, she basically showed up in the Edge of Spider-Verse comic series, which is very long and confusing and a bunch of cool stuff, but I thought Silk was a lot cooler than her in that series. Much more interesting character, but there's some stuff to look out for, and there is a 1 in 25 Greg Land cover, which I think was really cool until they overdid it with all the matching variants. There's like what, 50 now matching variants. So now when I see it, I'm like, I don't even care about that book anymore. I mean, it's still expensive, but it's like there's like 10, 15 other books that look exactly like this. So whatever. There is multiple printings of this book, guys. So take that as it will. Every printing in this book gets cheaper than the first printing. They don't. Sometimes they get more expensive. Sometimes they don't. With this one, each one gets cheaper as they go down. And Zach, do you want to report on the Black Error edition?
Yeah. So
you may have to hold the book up.
It's allegedly. CDC does not recognize it at this point, but allegedly, the background of it is supposed to be purple. But then it gets like really dark and it kind of blends into... Yeah,
I've seen it already.
It kind of blends into some of the other parts of the book. And that's when you have the error. I don't know if this one's the error. I feel like it is.
Zach says this one. He's pretty sure this is the error. Maybe you guys comment down below if you think it's the error. We've only been able to compare it to like a later printing, and it does seem like it's a different color, but we've never actually been able to compare it directly to another first print.
Yeah. I mean, Princess needs to buy one.
That's true.
So we can compare.
Yeah.
You know, it's like $1,000.
It's significantly more expensive if it is real, if there is a black air background. I don't know. It's kind of one of those like, is the Loch Ness Monster real? Maybe.
It's just too hard. It's too hard to know. So it was Catching the Webs a year ago, the good webs, at $1,140 for a CGC 9.8. Now it's $949. The range is $750 to $1,695. Average sale was $1,049. It's about a 17% drop. Not too bad. This book was selling for $2,000.
Yeah.
And I should have sold it then. But there is apparently a 9.9 sale out there. And I think there's only one for $2,230.
What? That's so cheap?
For 9.9, yeah. One of one? That's crazy. So there's
pay $5 for that.
Yeah, there's 7,915 total graded.
Okay, that's a lot.
3,519 are 9.8.
That's a lot.
That's 40% of total graded. So this book
not
is
an investment book.
very easy to get a 9.8 in. It's an old dark cover, but of course it's a pretty new book. I think the character is pretty significant. I did read the first issue of that book right there. I did read it. The first issue is bad. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's really boring.
Kind of boring. It feels like there's a spin on the original character, even though the original character isn't very exciting, except when she dies, which is sad. Makes me sad. But on the flip side of it, the movie was fantastic, and for generations, people are going to be dressing up as Spider-Gwen. It's going to be a very awesome character to have. For it to be, just shy of 4,000 copies, I feel like there's probably well over 40,000 fans of Spider-Gwen. Probably 1 million. So that compared to how many copies there are in a 9.8, I mean, I would see it being a very expensive book for a long time. Might drop a little bit lower, but I think it's going to get another traction point and just going to go up and up.
There you go.
That's what I think. But a lot of copies.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool book for sure. I mean, my Gwen Stacy will always be the ultimate Spider-Man Gwen Stacy, but that's the best one. That's the best one.
She had a messed up ending too.
She comes back.
Oh, she comes back. Okay.
Yeah, she comes back.
I don't want to drink that energy drink.
All right, guys. Number 2 on the list. Let's tap into the DC well a little bit. We got New Teen Titans, number 2, 1980. George Perez, Marv Wolfman. Oh, fantastic team. When you hear those two names together, you know greatness is about to happen.
Oh.
First appearance of Deathstroke, the Terminator, aka the Terminator. Actually, I think this is older than Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Terminator. So I don't know if you want to see.
So.
Yeah, this actually like predates Arnold's Terminator, so it's kind of cool. It does have some other notable first appearance. His son Ravager is in this first appearance. It first appears in this book. I believe he later dies, and the daughter actually takes up the name Ravager, so they kind of pass that stuff around. Mm-hmm. Just a fantastic book overall. DC never gets the credit that it's due for great characters like this. Obviously, last year, James Gunn spec. I know we talked on this before. A lot of characters that people really respect and like took a huge jump because like people thought James Gunn's going to give this character a lot of good respect. I'd say overall, like to me, and I've not read a ton of DC, but just from what I know, like the Teen Titans storyline is almost better than the Trinity. You know, like maybe not better than Batman, but definitely Superman or Wonder Woman. Storyline wise, they have better villains. They go along with some of the greater stories. You get to see Robin turn to Nightwing. I mean, all of the characters of the Teen Titans, Zach, who are they? The team?
There's a lot of the original three was Kid Flash, Robin, and Speedy.
But the newer ones, yeah.
Oh, the newer ones.
The ones we love.
Oh, so that's Starfire, Raven, Cyborg, Beast, and then Robin.
Yeah.
Did I say Robin twice?
Yeah, you can.
Let's see. Am I forgetting anybody? No, that's about right.
You got it. Yeah, I mean, like it's such a great thing, and like we've had like two hugely successful cartoons. I mean, Teen Titans Go is still funny. It's a kid show, but it's still great. Mediocre live action, but if it was me, I'd be really excited to see like an HBO either really rated R series for Teen Titans would be really cool, or like do some individual movies of these characters, like origin stories for them, and then kind of combine them together in like Avengers style ending would be really good. We did get to see Joe Manganiello at the end of the failed DCEU with his white hair. I don't think, as much as I love that guy, he's a better comedic actor than I think a serious actor. I don't know if that would have worked out well as him as Deathstroke, but maybe. He's got the body for it, but I don't know about the acting chops. But we'll see. Still, just way underpriced book, but Zach will tell you more all about that.
Yes, so prices a year ago, it was in the scope, in your sights, about to take you out at $812 for CGC 9.8.
Way too cheap.
You thought that was cheap. It gets even cheaper. It goes down to $581 recent sale. The range is the insane part. I wish I would have got this deal. $225 to $1,100. Average sale, I'm guessing that $1,100 is probably a newsstand, but it could have just been somebody that wanted it really badly. Average sale $771. It's a 28% drop. There's 7,894 total graded. 857 of them are 9.8s. That's only 11% of total graded. That's a really good ratio right there. Really, really good. For it to sell for only $581, that's a crime. That's a crime.
It is. It should be well above 1,000. I think this book should be above 1,000.
And I will be the thief because I am looking for this book now at a 9.8.
That's why we do the drop list. That's why we do this.
Such a good deal. If I could get for like $225, that'd be even crazier. Crap my pants. Anyways, if I could get that book for that price, I was trying to get this book for hundreds of dollars raw.
I know.
And now I can just for a few extra $100 potentially get a 9.8. And I don't even have to worry about it getting a 9.8?
That's why I was at that con and I showed you that guy was like, I was behind this guy. He finds the book for $60 and then he talks the guy down to $50. And I'm like behind him. I'm not gonna like butt in and like be like, because that's a rude thing to do. I was just kind of listening like, but I'm like thinking to myself like, I'd pay you $60 for that book. Like right now, this guy's talking you down. It's sad.
That guy pulled a me.
I know. It's already a good deal. Let me talk you down lower.
It's like I always say like try to talk them down like especially if you get like stack, at least talk them down 10%.
Right.
That's what I think.
All right, guys. Number 1 on the list, and we got this is a stunner. This is a crazy one, and we've got Darth Vader number 3. 2015. We got Zach's favorite artist,
Addie Granoff,
and Karen Gillan, who at this time wasn't as well known as he is a writer now. Pretty famous writer now. Karen Gillan kills it. And first appearance of Dr. Aphra. Beautiful cover. This cover is ridiculously awesome. You also have the Assassin Droids, 000 and BT1. I mean, this book has been pretty hot almost from the get-go when it came out. I think the story's written extremely well. The character comes across really awesome. It's amazing that we've never had a live action or even like basically a mention of this character in anything live action, and it's still pretty expensive book. It was a lot more expensive than it is now, and Zach will get more into that later. But we've had plenty of times over the past years where we've had this book spike up. I know basically Star Wars and Disney Studios at one point said they were looking for a female Indiana Jones type character for their Star Wars universe. Everyone obviously is like, Dr. Aphra, this, just makes sense. Nothing so far has come of that, but clearly everybody likes this character. She's had multiple solo titles that have been successful. She's, fan favorite. She seems to love all types of people, male or female, which is kind of exciting for the character. And I think it's just the hardest part with this to me, in my mind, is like, where does she fit in with in the Star Wars universe? We've gotten a big list of movies that are coming out, and where does she fit in? And you got to kind of like look at the timeline to see. And let's put up this timeline. This is at the start of every Marvel comic book for Star Wars. So if you're reading Star Wars, this timeline kind of like pops up where you have like that starts with the High Republic, which is the oldest series that's been out, and it goes all the way to the First Order, like at the bottom, and you kind of see where things land out. So technically, if you guys know your Star Wars timeline, Darth Vader and Star Wars series and Dr. Aphra from Marvel that came out in 2015, that takes place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So that's when that's when she should show up. And we don't really have any series that are running right now that are in that time frame. The comic book is, but there's no movie or TV show. So we have like The Mandalorian right here and Book of Boba Fett that takes place after the Return of Jedi. So are they gonna plop her in there where it's like much after her, like kind of all her great stories that she's done? I don't know. I kind of find we saw Black Chrysanthemum, in The Mandalorian. Could she pop in there? At that point, there's no Darth Vader. So, and if you guys know the comics, Dr. Aphra and Darth Vader kind of have a big story together. So I wouldn't want to see her show up without Darth Vader. So my guess, and I don't think anybody has said this, so this is kind of like ComicGains first. Obi-Wan Kenobi had a TV show. If you see there where his timeline ends up, we just got renewed. Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 will be coming out. I thought there was only going to be like a 1-season show. Now we're getting a 2nd season show. That seems to be the only show where we have a younger Darth Vader. Now, it's not going to quite line up with the comic book series because Luke would have to be there too, and obviously Obi-Wan, Luke's like a little kid. But we could see where Darth Vader kind of first meets Dr. Aphra, and kind of like, that would be, if they were going to put her in anywhere, that would be my guess, that we see like get to see her in Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. The other obvious answer would be Dr. Aphra TV show, solo story featuring herself would make sense, but they haven't announced that. So that's why I'm like, that's the only thing that makes me worry, like, why haven't they announced it? And us comic book nerds know who Dr. Aphra is, but does the average person out there, if they did Dr. Aphra solo show, would anybody know what the hell that is? I don't know. I don't know. People didn't seem to like the Ahsoka TV show very much. I love that show and could watch it over and over again, but for some reason the non-Star Wars fans didn't soak that in the same as the Star Wars fans. So that's kind of like maybe they need to keep an eye on it. I know I'm talking way too much. I love the timeline, guys. It's exciting to me. There is some books to look out for. Salvador Larroca's 1 in 25 is very expensive book. I actually think, and I think Zach and Princess agree as well, the first print looks way better. Way better. I would much rather have the first print than the Salvador Larroca one. And unlike the Edge of Spiderverse, this book has multiple printings, but the price goes up as with the printing. So each printing you have gets more expensive than the one before. It's the exact opposite of the Edge of Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Probably print runs. Is the answer. But let's get the numbers on. I've been talking way too much. Let's get the numbers. Zach always tells me after the show, why you talk so much? Why?
Prices a year ago. Yeah, I know why you talk too much. No, that's so awkward. Anyways, I'm joking. Our prices a year ago, people were gripping your throat full of games a year ago at $253 for a CGC 9.8 for the first print. Now, guess what? Midichlorians aren't real. At $152 for a 90, you can pick one up for. $145 is the low over the year. The high is $349. Average sales T24. It's a 40% drop. There's 8,195 total graded. 4,350 of them are 9.8. It's a 53% drop. Or no, not 53% drop. It's a 53% of total graded for 9.8s. It's a 40% drop for the price over the year. This is a book I love. Fantastic. I got it at the right time. Other people's got it at the right time. Some people didn't get it at the right time. And some people get a copy that has the pages stuck together. I won't say who. But sometimes, someone messes up in the press. That was me. But anyways,
or you get too excited while reading the book.
Oh, Afro! I have read this book. It's fantastic. I have read this first issue. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's such a great issue. It's mind-blasting. I think this book is not a bad price right now. It's the price is going to be determined. The future price is going to be determined whether they're going to make a TV show or movie, announce it at all. This is a kind of a gamble, but it might be a gamble that you might want to take because you've seen the highs of this book. It was like selling for $500 at one point. It was insane. $450, $500, something like that. I mean, if you could buy them $150 a pop over, once a month over a year, get a nice stack of copies, and if the show goes through, this book would probably go back up to $500, close to $500, instantly, overnight. And then just offload your copies, except for one.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of depends. It's one of those books where, there's too many in a 9.8. Like Zach said, the percentage is too high. So, you just got to, kind of ride the wave on this. You either, buy it on the low, sell it on the high, buy it again on the low. Because it's probably just going to keep, going up and down, up and down. It'll probably never really, level out, not for, a long period of time. And it probably won't have any long-term gains. I wouldn't... Even if the character is amazing, it's going to go back down. There's too much available out there. There's too many 9.8s. It's not rare enough. I mean, Star Wars has held its ground a little bit, but mainly only issue number 1 or the price variants or the newsstands of first Boba Fett or, those are the ones that if you want to invest in that could be worth a lot of money down the road. Those are the ones you want to look at. Dr. Alpha, great character, great story, just too new, too many 9.8s. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pick of
the week.
Man, this is a hard one. I think first time ever. I think it's going to be a tie because I think either one of them would be fantastic. There's one I'm leaning more towards. I'm thinking the new Teen Titans 2 probably would be the book you want to get, but at the same time, if you can afford it, the Iron Fist 14 would be 2 fantastic books to get right now, especially the Teen Titans 2. But the Iron Fist 14 is going to be a Bronze Age grail, in my opinion.
It should be.
The only thing that is...
It kind of went back down.
The only thing that I will say in negative, both of them actually, is that it's a villain first appearance, and those kind of go up, down, up, down. Usually the heroes ones are the ones that go up in price, unless they're the top tier.
Yeah, unless
villains.
You're Dr. Doom.
Yeah, you got Dr. Doom, Lex Luthor, the Joker, not Mysterio, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Just some examples right there. But first, Sabretooth is a pretty decent villain, especially because he teamed up with Wolverine as his nemesis. Fantastic. Deathstroke it's just it's a fantastic price for a 9.8. Fantastic. And of course, James Gunn is probably going to use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a well-written character. Like, it's right there. The pages that you need is right there. Just copy what happened in the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you have too much bloody money, get the first appearance of Sabretooth. But if you are looking for a decent, awesome DC key for a great price, go for the first appearance of Deathstroke. The bargain, I think, would have to be the Dr. Rafa. Because I think even if it doesn't go up like crazy, you're getting a decent key for $150. Decent key. And, if it does go crazy, yeah, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it's a really good key.
Yeah.
Great cover. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Right now, everybody stop what you're doing and hit the like button for the princess. Do it right now. She loves it when you do it. And if right after that, if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button too so you get great content like this twice a week, every week. We almost never miss a show. That takes it's a lot of work, to always get on, but we enjoy it. And if you want to enjoy us live, hit the notification bell because we go live every Wednesday where we talk about new comic book day, issues with the comic industry, things that we like, things that we hate. Zach goes on rants. We even doing mystery boxes. We've been doing that for a long time. And leave a comment down below. We love responding to you guys. We almost respond to every comment. We almost never miss a comment. We've made some really good friends over the years with commenting back and forth with you guys. It's amazing. And Zach, you got to shove it way up there, man.
Way up there.
Way up there.
I was gonna do now I gotta do a Rick and Morty one. All right. First, you gotta get yourself a seed, Morty. You gotta get yourself a seed. Then you gotta shove it way up there. Because I can't shove it way up there because I did it too many times, Morty. I did it too many times. I can't get it through security. But it doesn't really matter because they get caught anyway. Spoiler. But that was in the first episode. Don't blame me, okay? Don't blame me. And that's how you get those seed games.
They're not real people anyways, Morty.
They're not real
people.
They're robots, Morty. They're freaking robots. It kills all those people.
All right, guys. Until we see you next time, get those
Rubba-dubba-dub games.
Get them.
Every single one.